We're one of the few entities that can actually provide capabilities and deliver those entire solutions, ensuring end-to-end experience for clients.
So our practices are now aligned to more globally led services, whether it's infrastructure, managed networking, managed security, and edge as a service, as well as our apps and cloud business, and then augmenting that with the local skills and practices around infrastructure solutions and tech solutions. We're now ready to support and embrace just the brand changeover.
To really rebrand Dimension Data at this point in time, because they've already been operating, but it's a great opportunity for this region and this country to take advantage of those additional capabilities.
It sounds like we're becoming experts in different verticals, but that's exactly our approach.
Dimension Data has become NTT Data Middle East Africa, with a strong focus on global expansion and localization efforts in Africa. The company is focused on its African roots, providing both legacy and well-loved brands to the local and global markets, with a focus on providing access to platform and network offerings that drive the next generation agenda. An African technology company with global roots and access to local and global talent, NTT Data, MEA, is taking technology innovation into Africa. And here we are with two representatives from NTT Data Incorporated, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
Thank you very much. My name is Tyler Affolter. I'm the global practice lead for NTT Data's network business. I have global responsibility for our clients' network connectivity, managed services, and basically global access to our consolidated global platforms.
Hi, Tamsin. Hi, everyone. My name is Prashil Gareeb. I'm Vice President of Managed Services here in South Africa within the MEA region of NTT Data.
Okay, well, welcome, guys. And I think the first question I'm going to ask you both is, who is NTT Data?
Yeah, so NTT Data is actually a global organization, $30 billion in the annual revenue, about 180,000 employees. We're actually the world's fifth largest global IT services provider. And we're uniquely differentiated in the marketplace as we're able to offer a full stack of services for our clients, all the way from advisory through global platforms and connectivity, right? We're actually the world's third largest data center provider. We have the world's fourth largest internet backbone. And we're able to layer on top of that several, kind of next generation IT services capabilities, from application development, management, hybrid cloud platforms, all the way through business consulting and vertical industry solutions.
Sure, that's an impressive resume. And Prashil, perhaps you can talk us through why Dimension Data has rebranded as NTT Data EMEA.
We've really embraced this change, not just in the local region, but also the global level for three reasons. One, we've seen all the great offers and the way we've organized ourselves globally to help clients from a more advisory-led perspective, where we're seeing initiatives and a lot of R&D investment coming out of our group entity to help our clients through sustainability objectives, vertical solutioning in financial services, manufacturing, retail. It's great for us to then tie up transformative technologies and make a difference to the lives of our clients and the clients that they support. Secondly, over the last 14 years, and that's the journey we've been on, we've actually moved our businesses closer to the way that, we want to drive to. And over the last 5 years, made a purposeful efforts to get ourselves ready for this change that's now happened this year. So our practices are now aligned to more globally led services, whether it's infrastructure, managed networking, managed security, and edge as a service, as well as our apps and cloud business, and then augmenting that with the local skills and practices around infrastructure solutions and tech solutions. We're now ready to support and embrace just the brand changeover. Thirdly, it actually helps us where our industry colleagues, our analysts, etc., are now saying NTT Data is recognized as a leading brand. And we find that talking to clients with that singular identity helps us get a lot more traction, especially as we lead into bringing the global offers, the global people, augmented by our local teams to help the clients.
That's amazing. So what is kind of the pivot point that made you guys, after 14 years, shift over to NTT Data? Yeah.
Dimension Data, over the last several years, as Prashil mentioned, they've really been operating very much in line with the NTT Limited global business. Recently, we've made the announcement that we're actually integrating the two major entities outside of Japan for NTT, NTT Limited and NTT Data. And with that integration, it was a great opportunity to really move forward with a one NTT conversation. We talk to clients all the time, and what does that mean? What does it mean, when you talk NTT Limited, NTT Data, and the integration and the value that it brings to clients? So when we do that, we thought it was a great opportunity to really rebrand Dimension Data at this point in time, because they've already been operating, but it's a great opportunity for this region and this country to take advantage of those additional capabilities. And what do clients get when we're combining the entities? It's really a differentiated full stack portfolio. It's not just consulting. It's not just advisory. It's not just cloud or app dev. It's not just infrastructure. It's not just one of the world's largest value-added resellers. We take all of those capabilities globally, put them together to drive the most value to clients. And when we talk to clients, it's, very often we can offer solutions, we can offer options, but then it's go do it yourself. And we're one of the few entities that can actually provide capabilities, then deliver those entire solutions, ensuring end-to-end experience for clients.
So I can add to that. I think for us, in the region, we find that if we benchmark ourselves globally, we definitely on the same track. In fact, a lot of the local skills have been repurposed into the global organization. We actually deliver a lot of the services for the global business out of region. In South Africa, for example, the collaboration productivity business is actually supported from Port Elizabeth. Our apps and cloud business is actually driven from here. The Tour de France event that happens once a year, the actual AI that drives that event in terms of twinning the athletes and being able to predict the results, helping the organizers, etc., comes from South Africa. So we definitely have skills that are benchmarked on a global basis, and it helps then to go to clients, bringing in the tech and the R&D and the platforms that have now come out of our business and tying it up to people that actually speak the language.
That is such a great kudo for South Africa. Absolutely. Honestly, that is fantastic. Which actually leads us to the next question, which is, can you guys unpack for me a little bit more around the product portfolio that you are now bringing to the table?
It's quite a vast product portfolio. We're one of the world's largest data center providers, one of the world's largest internet providers. We have over 100,000 delivery employees globally. I think we're rated as a top employer in 54 countries across the world. So we have the kind of the infrastructure, we have the talent and the resources, and then globally through our entities, we've built or acquired multiple platforms. And from those platforms, we can deliver many service offerings, from cloud offerings to network offerings, industry-specific solutions for our clients, all the way through app development, modernization, and really optimization and how our clients drive. We focus on business outcomes for our clients, and that's really where we start. And from there, we really work hard to ensure excellence in delivering that experience. And when we talk about experience, we think, okay, great, the experience for this person or that person, but it's really the experience for the user, whether it's a person, an application, or a device. As you see this proliferation of, IoT and devices, and hear more and more about AI, which is a core capability that we're consulting, advising, and developing for our clients, it's really important to ensure that experience is there. For example, for a generative AI capability supporting someone in a contact center, if they don't have real-time feedback from an AI application, it's useless. Delay, lag, right? Gaps in capabilities or feedback really impact not only the client's experience, but the employee experience that we deliver. So one of the things that we've really been able to do is throughout all of these legacy companies, we have multiple platforms that we've built, next generation platforms built within our infrastructure, sit very close to our cloud infrastructure partners. Many of the largest cloud service providers actually sit within our data centers and our infrastructure, and we're able to build and deploy our platforms right next to those. And that really, really deliver a better experience, just from a latency, but also a capacity and a connectivity perspective, that we can design solutions that are really unique for our clients. And then from those platforms, we then can deliver those locally. So think global capabilities and then local proximity for our clients. And we really see that it's important for our clients to understand them. Our abilities and our capabilities differentiate very specifically to different countries. We compete well in one country where another area we compete very well in a different area. So the local people and proximity is absolutely critical for our differentiation.
Yeah, that's actually kind of a key issue here and a key part of the conversation, which is really, so South Africa's got a really strong skills portfolio. I also believe that there's quite a strong networking and platform capability that's been now brought into South Africa thanks to this merger. So can you talk me through that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Historically, when we're talking about IT services, it's outsourcing, it's outtasking. Those are very people-based, very custom tools. When we see that, it works for a period of time, but it's about cost optimization, not value delivery. When we're delivering this, we're actually leveraging our platforms to drive differentiation. For example, our Spectra Network Services platform. It's an AI ops-enabled solution that does proactive monitoring, analysis, correlation, remediation. And we're seeing significant improvements in the execution of the network as it grows and as you put more responsibilities on that. As clients try to drive more business value out of technology, we're always thinking, well, cloud first, but we've been talking cloud first for years. Most of the value out of a cloud first strategy has been really delivered from an IT perspective. How does that translate to business value? And I'll liken it this way. Everybody has a phone. Do you know what cloud your phone is operating on? Do you know what operating system your phone is operating on?
iOS, yes.
What version?
Good Lord, no, I have no
Is it updated? Is right?
It's both of those things.
We hope, right? Well, you never think about it because it just works.
Happens, yes.
What's the one time you think and you're worried about your phone? It's when it's not connected. When you have a connectivity problem, that's when you pay attention to your phone. Without that connectivity, without the ability for that phone to execute what you needed to do in a timely manner, you don't think about it. And that's when we talk about a full stack of services, that's exactly what we're talking about. We can not only develop, deploy, deliver capabilities, but we ensure you get the experience you need to drive the business outcome from that.
That's amazing. That is really impressive. Do you have any stats that you know off the top of your head? Because you said that there were measurable improvements in the AI ops.
When you look at our network services, we've actually doubled the number of clients and we've grown the number of devices on our platforms by 6x over the last 12 months. And we see very specific measurable improvements. When we move clients to our platform, we see a 5x reduction in the number of tickets that the help desk sees. We're actually able to proactively identify issues, correlate multiple events, and then really drive that down to really the core issue. So you're not seeing 100 tickets off of one event, you have one. And most likely, actually 95% of the time, we can remediate that issue before there's an impact to the network. We're seeing a 30% reduction in resolution times. And we're actually able now to predict outages up to 9 hours ahead of time because of the capabilities that we have from a visibility, a monitoring, and a correlation capability. So yeah, we're seeing very specific reductions.
To make that real, in the region, we've taken on a client where we've achieved 87.7% reduction in what would be events leading to incidences. And if you look at it from a impact to customer point of view, that means less time spent on all these non-critical issues, where our engineers, that's the packaging of both the team that we support us from a global delivery perspective out of Bangalore, together with the local team, are able to then focus on more strategic stuff for the client. Driving out things like vulnerability assessments, keep, looking at patching, ensuring that the client's network is upgraded as their business scales or as their business changes intact. So we've got a few customers here in the region that we've brought into the platform, and we're using that to actually showcase the power of what we see.
Yeah, we've actually moved our networking services portfolio in as part of our cloud portfolio. And one of the main reasons for doing that is we're actually developing industry cloud solutions for our clients, very specific and customized by industry solution, vertical, or use case. For example, we have a ton of capabilities on smart venues. We're able to transform large venues for clients to not only understand where people are within a venue, right, for kind of a customer service or safety issues, where they're coming in, where gates are being backloaded, but then we're also able to deploy revenue-generating solutions within those venues. And you do all of that work, but imagine if you're generating thousands of dollars an hour within a specific area of your venue. and your wireless access point starts rebooting or has challenges. How do you understand that? How do you know? We actually have the ability to understand how the access point is operating and then how the applications are performing to ensure you could recognize the revenue out of the technology and continue to drive and grow your business.
So one of the other elements that we were going to talk about today was also platform as a service and the platform services that you offer. Can you tell us a bit more about that and how it aligns with your vision?
It's really the ability to deliver services. And we can do that at a global or a local scale. And when we talk about platforms, clients are very concerned in many cases around data sovereignty. So when we talk about global platforms, that's the first question that comes in hand, right? But we're actually able to deliver in-country capabilities via our platforms using that core technology, ensuring you have data sovereign capabilities. And we talk about platforms, but it's really about people in the experience. So we go back to this, right? We have these skills, but we're able to leverage the best skills in the best place at the right time. And there's always, everyone thinks, okay, offshore, but there are nearshore, there are South African employees. And frankly, honestly, the most exciting things about this is that we get the ability to leverage the employees in this area, which is a great opportunity for all of us, just from the skills that sit here, the background, the history.
One of the core questions here really is that, yes, customers are nervous. There's a lot of questions around it. So how do you match this service to customer needs?
He's looking at it from the business drivers. We don't start with the pure network design and selection of vendors. The beauty of what we've got as an offer is that it's multi-vendor. Doesn't make a difference whether it's a SD-WAN or a SASE, just use some jargon out there. But that's sort of a secondary part of the engagement. Firstly is to understand what are you trying to achieve in your network for business outcome. Have you made a choice on things like your CX strategy or your EX strategy? Have you done some work and then understood exactly where your cloud strategy is going to end up? So those help us. And how does it affect then the decision-making at the risk level or at a financial level around security and around what type of transformation, how quickly you can afford to transform your network. For example, in the manufacturing side, the clients that have got a stronger OT footprint generally would know what type of network they would need to support that in the LAN and in the non-carpeted space. But so that helps us then gather that information and then match that to global use cases. So, that's the beauty of us now being part of the global brand, is that we can then tap into that and say, guys, tell us what's happening in the retail space. We've got financial services, and in the vertical sectors, we can then actually bring some of the experts in to further advance both the conversation on the business as where it's going, and the technology can help that, as well as then on the networking side. In then the next phase of that within my team is to then look at a partnership model. What can we do to help you, Mr. Client or Mrs. Client, to redesign your environment? And then commercially, how quickly can you afford to transform, or how can we as NTT Data then support you in that journey? And that leads us into where we go as a service. To Tyler's point, everything is now driven around a cloud image. And that's great, not because we now suddenly is all sitting in the cloud. It's because of the type of features of what cloud services actually bring, consumption, being able to run multiple environments and give the client the same type of support, the resilience, etc. And that now is being applied in the way we design and the way we commercialize our network offers.
We work with many clients that you can see the vestiges of cost optimization in the previous service providers. There's a lot of technical debt. There's end-of-life equipment, expired no support maintenance contracts. And our clients feel the pain of kind of pointing to the contract, we call it, right? They look at change orders, and you can see the previous service provider trying to make those businesses profitable. The benefit of a platform is global. It receives investments, right? We're not investing in thousands of places. We invest 30% of our profit back into R&D, and that R&D goes into our platform. So the platform that you're leveraging at the beginning of your agreement is not the platform you're leveraging at the end. A big investment that we're making as a company is in generative AI. One of our generative AI models, Suzumi, is a lightweight model that actually works with our clients in very specific industry and corporate specific solutions. So when you think about ChatGPT and some of the larger Gen AI models, right, there are billions of parameters, and those parameters need to be taught. There has to be data that teaches those, right? There are stats out there that say it costs up to $100 to $150 million to train a a large language model such as a ChatGPT for billions of models. We're actually developing lightweight Gen AI models that, take 500,000 parameters. And it's very specific to the data that our clients are leveraging that they need to drive specific outcomes. And we're taking our Gen AI capabilities and deploying them within our platforms at this point in time. So you'll continue to see advancement in capabilities of these platforms versus legacy one-off custom bespoke solutions that are really managed for cost.
When it comes to bringing skills into a company and providing a service for a company, people are creating, like a pit crew. It's the pit crew concept where a cohesive team comes in and they're already connected and they're creating solutions within the business that don't require all the forming, storming, and norming stages. They're there, they're ready, and they come in, which I think is one of the value adds that you guys bring to the table, is that your teams are formed. They have insight and expertise within themselves as well as externally providing to the client.
Yeah.
So I'd like to talk a little bit more about your networking offering and how the network has become commoditized and what you guys are doing to evolve this. Can you talk me through a little bit more around why networking has become such a critical conversation point?
Networking's been around for a while. And if you look at the market top level, it looks like it's slightly 3 to 4%, but it's over a $400 billion market. And within that market, there's a massive shift from legacy technologies, capabilities, ways of doing things. The shift from MPLS to internet is still happening after 10 years. There's still a lot of legacy there. And the question is we keep talking about business value and transformation and those things, but how do you get there? And that's a really important question that you have to answer is, how do you get there? When we come in, we don't just come in and rip everything out and do something new. That takes 12, 18, 24 months. You have to be able to come in, integrate, and optimize the existing environment. That just delivers better outcomes from existing legacy technologies, legacy services, legacy connectivity. And then once we do that, we deliver, it's kind of step one. We deliver improvement. Step two is to transform. And then transform could mean moving to different technologies, moving into a SASE environment, moving to SD-WAN, network function virtualization. There are a ton of things that we can do to transform. And that transformation really sets the basis in the platform to innovate. And that's really the next phase. And that's where you start talking about our capabilities around edge compute, private 5G, connectivity on large scale, because our clients are more and more looking at AI, autonomous vehicles within manufacturing facilities, automated functions and features that drive efficiencies, profitability, and a better client experience. So while legacy, you might think commoditization, it's how you deploy that. And we're in a unique position. We don't have a huge revenue base globally of legacy MPLS or legacy services that we have to defend. So we're in a unique position of using best-in-class partners, services, technologies, capabilities, and then a global scale of resources to deliver outcomes for our clients.
You look at Middle East, you look at a little bit on East Africa side, there's a lot of focus on tech, but that's now becoming more and more also managed services. What value can you extract? Because their business models are also evolving. And, data sovereignty is important to consider there. But with platform and now, where we don't really take the data out of country. We process it in the country. It's just the way we manage and support it that gives the client a lot more comfort that we're managing it on their behalf, irrespective of what deployment they've got. Yeah, in South Africa, it's focused around, the commercial side of it. So we have a lot of exposure that we need to overcome. We understand that clients have to drive agendas around sustainability, cyber, and also, transformation themselves. So how do we help that, drive that accelerated either transition or transformation to what we believe our vision is autonomous operations, augment the commodity side of the business, take away the need for skills, a lot more skills to manage both the network and these new generation type services, and let the client focus on the higher function type services while we take care of the network, irrespective of the state at which we find it, evolving it into the things like SASE and security and edge as a service. I mean, that's massive for us right now in opportunity. We've done a few sessions with ITWeb around client engagement. And what we're finding is there's definitely a need for them to automate different levels of automation, to automate different parts of the organization. So driving tools like Gemba and Perdo analysis between IT and OT is part of our game plan. It sounds like we're becoming experts in different verticals, but that's exactly our approach. It helps us then to really know where the network makes sense, whether it's just on the WAN side, in the LAN side, and as we expand then into the plethora of devices that now need to be managed.
Yeah, so you've kind of preempted me there, which is to ask what you guys are looking forward to doing in the future. What are your future plans? What are some of the things you have on the horizon?
There's a lot. Obviously, a continued investment in our platform. We're making big bets. We're making big bets around Gen AI, automation, and industry-specific solutions and capabilities. We're continuing to bring our platforms globally together to drive value for clients. And like I mentioned, there's a ton of innovation that's going into the business. A couple of areas is you'll hear about IONed. It's an acronym for Innovative Optical and Wireless Networking. We're actually looking at leveraging photonics from basically a networking perspective. It increases speed of networking connectivity capabilities by multitudes of 100. And it's not just from a networking perspective, but we're actually looking at leveraging photonics from actual chips and processors that will expand that next wave of compute power that we can deliver to our clients. We're building out digital twins. We actually have an example of a bio-digital twin where we've created a digital twin of a cardiovascular system where our customers and our partners can look at the impact of different drugs on a system before they're testing it out or giving to actual people. And then we're doing a ton around cryptography, right? With the proliferation of AI, right? More and more exposure, more borderless virtual enterprise networking. Cybersecurity is absolutely critical. So we work with our partners in the space from across Microsoft, Palo Alto, Cisco, of course, but we're also doing a ton from a cryptography perspective to increase the form factor of security for our clients. As they drive more and more business through technology, security just continues to grow in importance.
I think for us, it's just making sure that we're keeping abreast of those developments and actually contributing to it. So as we're finding our clients and the situations they're in, we're feeding that back into the system. So being a global organization, once again, allows us to not just absorb, but also to contribute. And, between our different teams at a global tech level, we actually have items of consideration. We were with a client yesterday that's in the retail industry, and their focus is around increasing, basket size, increasing the profitability of their product. And it's important then we can say to them, we know about other clients similar to you. And how do we then take what you've got now, repurpose some of the skills that we have contributed to you, put them onto the platform, and then, later on, push you into stuff that makes sense for omnichannel, makes sense for your client experience. And, with us, then they can take that next level of driving their business forward.
A big part of my job is, from a global perspective, is to make sure Prashil and his team have the latest and greatest capabilities. So, we mentioned edge compute a couple of times, but it's much more than just compute at the edge. It's actually delivering capabilities into the facility. The client we were just talking to yesterday, we were talking about capabilities that we can provide that provide location awareness, understanding where people are within a facility at any given point in time, environmental monitoring, understanding air quality, safety, things like that. And then it even goes into sustainability. So we're working very closely with our partners to actually give them insight into their power usage and how they can optimize next generation power over Ethernet switching, where you can turn down power on ports to save energy, really understanding what your carbon footprint is, and then making recommendations around that to improve your usage of the carbon footprint and really achieve the sustainability goals our clients are looking for.
Well, thank you both so much for coming on the show today. It's been a real pleasure to have you. And it certainly is. It looks like there are a lot of really exciting things ahead for your customers.
It really is. And thanks for having us. It's been great.
Yeah, it's been an amazing conversation. Thank you both so much.